Skyrim is a game very near and dear to me. It's one of the first video games I ever played. Because one of my siblings had it and I would watch them play, and then I started playing it when I was younger, and it was very fun. And so this game now has, obviously it's still very enjoyable, but it has this whole nostalgia element wrapped up in it for me, so it's very relaxing for me to play. So today I thought I could just take you into my library at Windstad Manor and read you some of the books I have collected so far, which isn't too many as of yet. I was definitely on a big Skyrim kick earlier this year, but since Elden Ring came out, I am pretty much exclusively playing that because it is such a massive game and I am barely completed. That sounded weird to me, but I can't think of the correct way to say that, so that is okay. But yeah, let's get into this video, and I hope you are able to enjoy these stories by the very talented Bethesda writers team. So let's enter Windstad Manor. This is the only custom housing that I have really put in time on this character as of yet. So let's go upstairs, and do the library. Now, first things first, you see a couple empty shelves. I definitely plan on filling them all, but for now I just have this collection, and I think I have some duplicates that I will have to figure out what I want to do with, so but I have these for now, and I have it as of now most men would have crumbled, but I do not bend. The Hagraven is a most repulsive creature, and deserving of its fate, and its claws that are my trophy will tell the story of Herbane's triumph. I have not but to continue my travels and my conquests, for I have yet to see what would make me tremble. Okay, so Herbanes is flexing pretty hard there at the end, because he's a brave guy and likes to make that known. Interesting little book. Interesting book about the Hagravens lore, I suppose. Okay, let's find something else to read. Daughter of Herbane, Darkest Darkness, Cats of Skyrim. I like cats. Let's delve into it. Cats of Skyrim, a report by Edeldude. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Edeldude. Anyways, I have been sent to this frigid wasteland to catalog and study any of its indigenous cats, which has so far been uneventful. After months of wandering, I have so far only encountered some variations of the basic species. In my travels, I have encountered several Khajiit outcasts from their clans that have taken up residence in Skyrim. They have been most unhelpful, probably for fear I'd expose their locations. I can't say I'm surprised, and that there are few Khajiit here. It's cold and unwelcoming. has no reason to respond to it. Unfortunately, he has since had the speech privately printed as Bero's speech to the battle mages. Bero's speech to the battle mages. And it's received some small, undeserved attention in academic circles. Let's put his misconceptions to rest. Bero began his lecture with an occasionally factual account of famous battle mages from Surin Arctis, Tiber Septim's Imperial Battle Mage, to Yagartharn, Uriel Septim the Seventh's Imperial Battle Mage. His intent was to show that where it matters, the battle mage relies on other schools of magic, not the school of destruction, which is supposedly a battle mage's particular forte. Allow me to first dispute these so-called historical facts. Surin Arctis did not create the golden new medium by spells of mysticism and conjuration as Bero alleges. The truth is that we don't know how Nuidium was created, or if it was a golem or Andronach in any traditional sense of these worlds. Uriel the Fifth's battle mage, Uriel the Fifth's battle mage, Bethoth, was not an imperial battle mage. He was simply a sorcerer in the employ of the Empire. Thus, which spells he cast in the various battles of Akavir are irrelevant, not to mention heresy or hearsay. Bero calls Empress Morithatha's battle mage Wellock an accomplished diplomat, but not a powerful student of the School of Destruction. I congratulate Bero on correctly identifying an imperial battle mage, but there are many written examples of Wellock's skill in the School of Destruction. The Sage of Solaris, for example, wrote extensively about Wellock casting the vampiric cloud on the rebellious army of Black Rose, causing their strength and skill to pass on to their opponents. What is this but an impressive example of the School of Destruction? Bero rather pathetically includes Yagartharn in his list of underachieving battle mages. To use an insane trader illusionists casting healing spells, or night blades teleporting. There is a time and a place for everything. Bero's argument, built on this shaky ground, is that of the school of destruction is not a true school. He calls it narrow and shallow as an avenue of study, and its students impatient with megalomaniac tendencies. How can one respond to this? Someone who knows nothing about casting a spell of destruction, criticizing the school for being too simple. Summarizing the school of destruction as learning how to do the maximum amount of damage in the minimum amount of time is clearly absurd, and he expounds on his ignorance by listing all the complicated factors studied in his own school of illusion. Allow me, in response, to list the factors studied in the school of destruction. The means of delivering the spell matters more in the school of destruction than any other school. Whether it is cast at a touch, at a range, in concentric circles, or cast once to later be triggered, what forces must be reined in to cast the spell? Fire, lightning, or frost? And what are the advantages and dangers of each? What are the responses from different targets, from the assault of different spells of destruction? What are the possible defenses, and how may they be assailed? What environmental factors must be taken into consideration? What are the advantages of a spell's delayed damage? Bero suggests that the school of destruction cannot be subtle, yet he forgets about all the curses that fall under the mantle of the school, sometimes affecting generation after generation in subtle yet sublime ways. The school of alteration is a distinct and separate entity from the school of destruction, and Bero's argument that they should be merged into one is patently ludicrous. He insists again, a man who knows nothing about the schools of alteration and destruction is the one insisting this, that damage is part of the changing reality dealt with the spells of alteration. The implication is that levitation, to list a spell of alteration, is a close cousin of shockbolt, a spell of destruction. It would make as much sense to is the Thieves Guild. Evidence suggests that such a group existed at one time within the borders of Skyrim. 120 years before the publication of the tome, a corpse was discovered wearing a strange suit of armor, that was described as forged midnight. The tattered armor bore a crest of some sort, the symbol of a bird embracing a circle of undetailed blackness. The remains of the armor was taken to the College of Winterhold for study, but mysteriously vanished only a day after it arrived. The crest from this armor was circulated around Skyrim for years, but identification proved almost impossible. Then, the most unlikely of sources, a prisoner incarcerated within the mines of Markarth, claimed that it was the mark of a group of thieves who called themselves the Nightingales. When pressed for more information, the prisoner claimed that the Nightingales were warriors of Nocturnal and performed her bidding without question. He claimed his source was someone he knew within the Thieves Guild of Skyrim, but he refused to identify them by name, so his story was quickly dismissed. The second piece of evidence pointing to the existence of the Nightingales exists to this day just outside of Riften. Discovered at the terminus of a short pathway off the main road stands a stone of unidentified blackened material. Carved into its face is the same avian symbol previously found on the dark suit of armor. To those who subscribed to the existence of the Nightingales, this was thought to be some sort of meeting place. To others, this symbol was once again dismissed as a hoax, or simply a diversion created by the Thieves Guild. The final and most controversial sample of evidence is a passage found scrawled inside of a cell wall in Whiterun. The cell had previously been occupied by a Dumner named Lorthus, was incarcerated for murder, and was set for execution. After the deed was performed and Lorthus's cell was examined, the following was found etched onto one of the stone blocks. Take my hand, Lady Nocturnal, for it's my will to serve you. As a nightingale, I'm born anew. Let my past echo our triumph. This is the first and only time that a solid connection between Nocturnal and the Nightingale has been made. The unusual nature of the passage, the religious connotations towards Nocturnal made by a career criminal, kept discussions lively for years regarding the possibilities of this group actually existing. subsided. With these scanned samples of evidence, conclusions are